have to deal with our mini-boss of this stage. And it ends up being like this giant robot with a, like, kind of a clamp or scissor mouth that's gonna break the wood that we're standing on. It's a giant kind of, I guess, termite style boss. Not really sure what he's supposed to be. But you fall down through these endless amounts of different planks or logs of wood while he tries to attack you, breaking the one that you're on, diving at you, just being a nuisance, dropping stuff on you. So that ends up definitely being a pain. Deliver the full charged up shots when possible. Dodge him the best that you can. He takes up a rather large amount of screen and it's hard to maneuver around him. When he goes away or goes in the background, whatever platform you're standing on, usually he's going to attack that one, or at least attempt to break that one that you're standing on to send you downwards. After a little bit, we take him out, fall to the ground, we see a rainbow right there. He explodes, gives us another upgrade, and then we go to our continue point. Now, the ability that we just got from that mini-boss was the Rush Health upgrade, which will summon Rush a limited amount of times to appear and give you a health boost. As you probably have noticed already throughout the game, and I really haven't mentioned, is they got rid of energy tanks in this game. It's the first time that we haven't had energy tanks since, like, the original Mega Man game. It's something that kind of became a staple of the Mega Man series, and we saw them once again in Mega Man 9. But they gave you, like, the Rush Health item upgrade, as well as a lot of just little health items and big health boosts throughout the stages themselves. So I guess they figure with all those extra bits of health that you really didn't need the energy tanks. The only problem with that is the final boss of the game ends up being a real pain trying to beat him with no health upgrades. Now here we have another swimming area with some spikes and there's clam robots and stuff. Swimming through it, trying to avoid as many enemies as possible, but like I said before, swimming's a little bit awkward in the game. Trying to judge it exactly right can be a little bit of pain, especially since we've never really had swimming in Mega Man titles before. We're used to kind of that zero gravity while underwater, and that's all that we've had to deal with. Now after that, we have our next Robot Master of Aquaman, who likes to make rainbows. Now you can say whatever you want about that. Now, okay, the Aquaman battle, he has several different moves, including the one he just did there where he sucks up some water and then shoots it at you. Which is a little bit hard to dodge, definitely. You can either try to jump to avoid it, it goes in usually two patterns, and it'll come straight at you, or it can go straight at you and then downwards, and I think it can also travel upwards. He also has that charge up right there where he shoots the arcing bubble shots. Those are pretty easy to dodge. And then his other main thing is when he does the big stomp, that big wave of water flies up in the air, and then he breaks it and all collapses. If you, it's gonna usually come up, or it's gonna come up wherever you're standing where he lands. So if you stand far away from him where he's gonna land, you'll get to come up there and you can move in close to him and deliver a whole bunch of free shots while he breaks that big wave of water. That move right there where he sucks up the water is definitely the hardest one in my opinion to dodge altogether. The arcing shot, easily the easiest of those moves. One last shot, and Aquaman is done. Okay, so next up we have Swordman. Now I mentioned it before, but Swordman stage is a level where we're going to have to use all four of the first Robot Master's abilities, the ones we got from the first set of four, and use them in this stage in order to solve like kind of a puzzle area. Ready. Now, it's kind of hard to figure out exactly what you would have for a Swordman, like what would his stage theme be. You would think something similar to Nightman, since it's, you know, involving a sword or medieval weaponry or whatever. but it ends up being kind of a temple area, or like a Mayan style level. Now it starts off, you have 4 statues right to the right there that you can't get through. You actually have to activate buttons to get rid of them. To activate the buttons, we're going to have to use the abilities. Now I'm starting in the top left area, where you have to move these items to hit the switches. You can move them by shooting them, but to send them upwards, you actually have to use Tengu Man's tornado ability to send them upwards. Take out some enemies. It's kind of hard to deal with it while you're trying to also deal with the statues that fall from these guys. Move this around here. This is probably the hardest to deal with just because of the clunkiness of moving it around. There we go, opened it up. And there we see our button, our first of our 4 buttons, hit it. And now one of the statues is removed. You'll see that it will open up. So now I'm going to go to the bottom left one here. And we'll have to use the Thunderclaw item that we got from Clown Man. Now this whole area, besides having to use that Thunderclaw, we have to be chased by a giant amount of spikes chasing us. Grinders chasing us from the bottom here at this area. And we'll also have another area in a second where they'll be coming from both top and bottom. Use the Thunderclaw to hit the switch and move it to the next area. As you can see, it's at the top there. If you're quick, you can go ahead and grab that bolt. Travel up the ladder. Now, this is our first time where we're going to have to actually use the Thunderclaw to swing, like Clown Man did in his stage. At the end, we hit that last switch, and then we get to our button. Press down on it. And then our second statue has been removed. So now we only have 2 more statues to get rid of. Now this is the trickiest to get to work sometimes. These flames will instantly take you out. You have to use the freeze ability that we got from Frostman to freeze all of them and then to quickly travel across them. Sometimes though it doesn't work, and as you can see right there, it didn't freeze all of them in that little area. So I now have to be very careful while trying to get through these. Now this area right there, as you can see, because of the wall separating each one, the kind of freeze runner ability won't go all the way through. So be very careful on that last one. Bypassing it, hit the switch, and now we only have 1 more statue to remove. Now this one's the easiest. You have to use the flash bomb ability that we got from Grenade Man to see the patterns in the backgrounds of the areas. You just have to then press the buttons at the end in the order that they appear. So we have the green one, the red one, and then the yellow one. It opens up. And then we have our switch. That one's definitely the easiest. So they're all done. We move over to the right. We get a little bit of a health upgrade there. As we now fall through, I'm going to actually use one of the abilities to take out the mini-boss here. It's just going to be easier to take him out here. I'm going to be using the Aqua ability that we got. Just kind of show it off or whatever. He opens up and shoots fire straight at us, which is pretty easy to dodge. The hard part comes in when this hammer appears, breaks the platform that we're standing on, so then we have to then move between the other platforms, the 3 smaller ones, and make sure that we don't accidentally fall into the lava. Thankfully, he's not too tough to take out, and even with that hammer breaking the platform, you can usually stay on the closest to him, the far right one, to easily deliver shots and not lose a life or get knocked into the lava. Now for defeating that mini-boss right there, we end up getting another Rush ability. We get the Rush Bomber, which you can summon Rush and he'll kind of fly over and drop bombs on all the enemies that are currently on screen. Now for the rest of Swordman stage, we have all this other lava that we're going to have to deal with. As you saw though, I had that different moving style platform when you stand on the right or left buttons in order to make it move right or left. Move this one to the far right, and then you can jump to the ladder and move it a little bit closer to the ladder if you want by pressing the left button to get an easier shot at hitting that ladder. We get another health boost here, but this area is hard to get through because of the way the statues are. End up getting hit by one of them, of course, like every single time I end up getting hit by at least one of those in that area. Another one of the button press ones, and we go off this waterfall. Watch out for those bats. They are a little bit different than their normal bats. We have like this vampire style bat that will actually latch onto you and take multiple hits at you. Now after the lava, we have our battle with Swordman.
Nothing personal, but I've got orders.
So here's our battle with Swordman. Now you can't just straight shoot Swordman. You actually have to hit him in the middle part of his body. That's his weak point. He actually can split apart from that when he actually jumps. Instead of just jumping like a normal robot master, he splits apart, his legs continue to move, and then his top part flies over in the air, and then they connect back together. Whenever he does so, he immediately is going to use his sword swipe ability, which gives a little bit more of just not just the sword, but also that dust that comes off of it. That can also hurt you. His other main abilities, that spin top move, which you can slide underneath of it, will hit the wall, and then you can slide underneath of it when it comes back. He also shoots up that tornado of wave around him, which you cannot hit him during as well. It can definitely be a pain, and he'll also jump on